Kia ora koutou. I'll just open up my presentation. Ko Moro Tiri Te Maunga, ko Mangahauni Te Awa, ko Tuatani Rawa ko Te Ariuru Ngā Marae, ko Te Whānau Rua Taupare Rawa ko Te Aota Warerangi Ngā Hapu, no Tokumari Bay Ahau. Kia ora, ko Trudy Lewis toku ingoa. Ngā mihi nui, tēnā koutou katoa. Now I recognise some people in this room. I've had some things to do with some of you guys from the coast. So nice to see you guys here. I'm going to share with you a bit about my journey working in a bit of everything really. This is where I come from, Tokomari Bay. Some of you guys will recognise this place. Some of you guys are from here. It's paradise anyway. Oops. This is my whānau. I'm 39 years old and I have 3 beautiful children, and that's my partner, whom I met when I moved back to the East Coast. Never thought after all these years of travelling around the world I'd come home and meet a Ngāti. But yeah, it's great. I've been living back here in Tūranga for about 8 years, after spending many years living away. Currently, I work at EIT. I'm the event coordinator / marketing media liaison for EIT. I've been there for 4 months now. Prior to that, I'd spent about 17, 18 years working in the film and television industry. So yeah, it's a great job. I enjoy working there. It's probably the first real job I've actually really had, where I've had a boss and colleagues. I've spent most of my working life self-employed. Yeah, so it's a nice change. This is a photo, my 7th form year at Gisborne Girls High. I went to Gisborne Girls High, and at the end of the 7th form I painted. I was into art, and I'd always desired I wanted to go to art school. And where the arrow is, that's me up there. It's not a very good photo, sorry. Yeah, so I painted for a year after I finished 7th form. I didn't quite know what I was going to do, truly, and after that I had 2 exhibitions. My dad was really worried about what I was going to do with my life. He didn't want me to be an artist and be a bum, because that first year after high school when I painted, it was the poorest I'd ever been, and I bludged off my dad and my grandmother. And after that year, they were like, no, you're definitely not going to be an artist. You're going to go off to university and go and get a career. So I said to my dad, no, I'm not going to uni. I definitely don't want to go to uni. And I had an epiphany while I was thinking about my future career. And the epiphany I had was that whatever I was going to do, that I wanted to have an influence on the world that brought about positive change. So I heard about this filmmaking course in Auckland, and I thought, yes, yep, that's me. That's how I'm going to conquer the world. So long story short, I went to film school, and have had an amazing journey ever since. Have had an amazing journey and experience of 18 years working in this creative industry. I've travelled the world, the length and breadth of New Zealand. I've filmed just about every iwi. I've met lots of interesting people from all walks of life and cultures, and learnt about so many different things. Just show you this, I started in television when there were no computer editing systems back then. It was all tape to tape when I first started in film and TV, which is a mechanised way of working, and a really, really expensive, really expensive equipment. I remember when my first job that I had, his editing suite cost $600,000. Not like today, it's something like, you can buy an editing system for about $2,000. So really different today. I've lugged cameras up mountains. I've trekked through thick bush, walked in snow, the wind, on a boat, flying backwards, filming in a helicopter, underwater filming, and even filmed volcanoes erupting. So it's been a really interesting industry to work in. I've worked in many facets of the filmmaking industry: camera, sound, lighting, editing, graphics, directing, producing, casting, and even making coffees. My first job, I worked for this production company after coming out of film school. He gave me a job making coffees for the crew. Some of you might think, after film school, why would I want to go and do something like that? But to me, every coffee that I made was one step closer to that dream that I had of becoming a filmmaker and conquering the world, changing the world. I remember also at that time, there weren't really many women working in the technical part of the industry. So I was always surrounded by men who always thought they were better than me. And so that made me even more determined to prove them wrong. So there's some shots of me with one of my first jobs working for Tairawhiti. I was the camera op and editor for Tairawhiti, working with, I don't know if any of you might know Martin Rakuraku, way back in the day. Yeah. As you would have guessed by now, filmmaking and videography is my passion. Why? Because this medium is a powerful tool to influence and create change. It has the ability to connect with the masses, but in a way that's personal and a one-to-one sort of kind of way. Broadcasting is a technology that has impacted on all of us. The way we dress, the way we talk, the way we act, the decisions we make. This is an industry where you can have an idea and through this medium can communicate it to the masses. So these are some of the companies that I've worked with: TVNZ, Māori TV, Takaya. I've worked on several reality shows. Some of you might recognise Marae DIY. I think I shot and edited. Oops. Oh, sorry.
You know, there's more than one way to cook great lasagna. Whether you're strapped for time, hosting a dinner party.
How do I stop this? Okay, that wasn't meant to happen. Yeah, so it's been a really exciting experience, really. I've really enjoyed working in this industry. As I've mentioned to you, you get to travel everywhere and meet lots of different kinds of people. I moved back here, as I said, about 8 years ago, and found that there were absolutely no jobs in film and TV here. But I came home because I wanted to have my children grow up here, so and not in the city. So at first I had to travel a lot to. I hope that doesn't fit. So I had to travel a lot when I first came home, back to Auckland, backwards and forwards, working in the industry. And yeah, I became really tired of doing that. And in the end decided, no, I've got to try and create opportunities here in Gisborne, East Coast. So some of the stuff, so I had to think how I could utilise my skills locally. So one of the things I got involved with was recording and archiving historical kōrero, and it's something I'm really, really quite passionate about. This particular picture here is, we're at I don't know if you guys know about Ngā Tamatoa, the book. So for the last few years I've been running these translation huis with all those kaumātua who have been involved in that project. So I was commissioned with the task to capture all of that kōrero, that discussion that was going on between in that forum. You know, and the cool thing about having worked on this project is actually a lot of those kaumātua are now passed on. So, you know, I feel like it was a really important piece of work to do, to have captured that kōrero and to have recorded that for future generations. So, yeah, other projects that I've been involved with, particular with other iwi, Tauranga Moana was an iwi that I worked with for 3 years, archiving their historical kōrero. Every 2 weeks I'd travel over to Tauranga and in a wānanga kind of a forum, would record the discussions, the stories that these old people would tell about their upbringing, the changes that they were experiencing. So yeah, and again, a lot of those kaumātuas have now passed on, and now that iwi has a rich resource archive of historical stories from their kaumātua. So the thought of future generations having access to these kind of videos and archive resources is for me a really exciting thought. Yeah. Also, since I've been back home here, I've found myself involved in mentoring young people all over the East Coast through the medium of filmmaking, and I love young people. This is, I taught at Matapuna for a whole year, film and television, and most of these kids that I taught had gang-affiliated backgrounds and were, you know, classed as high-risk youth. And this medium of filmmaking, they just absolutely loved it, and I watched these kids change and grow and become confident. And yeah, filmmaking was such a great way for them to express their thoughts, their feelings, their stories, their desires, their concerns. So yeah, very fulfilling work to have worked with these young people. This is some images of them filming, and some of their ideas that they came up with that they would like to have made films about. One of them's got don't want the gang scaring our kids. It's funny, he comes from a gang family. And issues around suicide and yeah. And some of you, I've also been involved with the Tairawhiti Festival, and I know that a lot of you guys here are part of that as well. And that's been a really fulfilling thing to be a part of, actually, because I've seen the skill base really grow on the coast. I mean, here's an example. I'd like to introduce to these two guys at the back here, whom I met when I taught at Tolaga Bay High School a few years ago, and also we're really involved in the Tairawhiti Festival, and you know, it's really good to have been a part of imparting that skill to these guys, and now seeing them actually doing it. Right. Oh yeah. So I just want to show you a quick video of these that class actually made. Bit of a take on the Ghost Chips ad. So, oops, hang on. Oh, sorry. happened here? Can you hear?
The first picture of it. If he keeps saying he could end up getting caught doing the puzzles and end up on LSD. If I am stopping from joining the game, he could end up in jail. Oh, then I have to look after Auntie. First George performance well. I don't want to sleep with that girl. Go away. Guilty of been standing here daydreaming of a possible scenario. Hey, what you on about? I think you should live in Frostburg. Hey, nah, I'm good. Now come in Frostburg. We'll go get a feed. Like old times. Hey. Nah, eat it. Here.
Cool. It's just a few bloopers at the end. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, they found a way to use film to get a message across, really, about not being in gangs and hanging out with your mates and making the choice not to go down that pathway. So when they made that video, we put it up on YouTube, and like within about, I think, 2 days, it already had about 7,500 views on YouTube. So it went viral the first few days. So I think since then it's had about 14,000 views. Producing TV advertising and corporate promotion has also been a major part of my working experience. And with the advancement of technology and the internet, there are huge opportunities with online video and live streaming and technology. Back then, it would have either have been a TV ad or a DVD. So distribution was either very expensive or limited to the number of DVDs you printed off. Today, the internet has revolutionised the way video is viewed and distributed. So I've over the last few years, I've really gotten involved in streaming live to the internet events such as the Ngāti Awards, East Coast rugby games that we did. We did about 3 games last year. We live to the internet, to the world, which is pretty cool at minimal cost as well. We had people from all over the world logging in to watch East Coast games. People from Alaska, Afghanistan, South America, everywhere. We had it on the Tirinanga Ngāti Parau website. Yeah. So I think our first game we streamed we got it out there. Must have had about 1,000 people log in to watch from all over New Zealand and the world. So yeah, it's I really kind of like this technology because it's not expensive, it's easy to do, and it's not just broadcasting to New Zealand, we're broadcasting to the whole world. And you know, and New Zealanders live all over the world now, so yeah. A couple of other things that I've got involved, karaoke. I don't know if you guys ever heard of karaoke. It lasted probably about 6 months. But I got involved from a point of view, we filmed karaoke. Te Hāmua Nikora, who came from Homai Te Pakipaki, he did a show here, a local show in town called karaoke. So I got on board with him to film it and to broadcast it live to the internet. And it was a great, we had great response from the internet actually, and we had integrated with on our website Facebook, so people were having live chats with us as well while we were doing the live broadcast, so that was pretty cool. Some other things that I'm doing while I'm at EIT is live streaming all our public lectures. We've had a public lecture series called Ngā Maunga Kōrero by Walton Walker, and so we've been streaming those live to the internet, as well as Toiho Kura have had some guest international artists, and we've been streaming those live as well, those public lectures. So, so this is the kind of thing that I'm into now at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
How difficult would it be for just the school to...
Wouldn't be difficult at all. It's not difficult. Basically, you need a camera. There are websites that you can become members of who actually do all the live streaming stuff for you on the web. So it's just a matter of logging into a connection, having an account with that live streaming company, and it's pretty minimal cost as well. I think we at EIT we use a program called Showcaster, www.showcaster.com, which is a Google product, and I think we've only ever paid $99, and we're still using up our bandwidth. So with that we've streamed our graduation, those public lectures, and we still haven't used up much of that. So it's really minimal. Yeah, sure.
Is there any particular thing?
Anything I like filming?
No, any particular one you like the most?
Live streaming? Do you mean to do with live streaming? Yeah. The rugby. Yeah, I think I really enjoyed that. It was pretty exciting to have an East Coast game streamed live to the rest of the world, all the way from Whakarua Park in Ruatoria. So yeah, that would have to be one of my most exciting. Yeah, and like also I must say Dex and Hat over the back there, they do it, but we work a lot together, and they live stream Parekura Horamea's tangi. And how many people did you guys have logging in on that, Dex? It was incredible anyway. 40,000 people logging in to watch Parekura's tangi on a live stream. So yeah, that was probably the best result I've ever heard of, really. So any other questions about live streaming? No? I'll move on.
Are you is there any other people that try and call people to use?
No, not really. But even if they did, I'm actually really embracing of other people doing this sort of stuff. I don't feel threatened by other people doing it because it's an easy technology to use, and yeah, but I don't know of a lot of people, anybody else in Gisborne that does it. Does anyone else know of anybody else in Gisborne that does it? Yeah. Yeah.
Introduction, every time they have their poetry stuff on their stream.
Yeah. Actually, I'll show you right now while we're on the live streaming thing. Dexter, we got his phone up. Hang on. I hope I can do this all right.
We all love lasagna.
Is this the site, Dex?
You know, there's more than one way to cook great lasagna. Whether you're strapped
Okay, it's going to start soon, guys.
party or has special diet needs, San Remo has a variety of lasagna.
After this ad, it's a free. So in a minute, you guys are going to see yourselves. We're on the internet now. So we're filming from his phone.
Because we all want the best for our family.
So hang on. Have we got it happening? Oh. Hang on, wait for the ads to go on.
A $4 burger every day, now with free fries and a drink. Tastes key.
Okay, here we go. Can you see, guys? It's obviously not the best picture. But we're live to the internet now, guys. So you get the idea anyway, eh? You can live stream from your phone, from your iPad. You get even your laptop, web camera, video camera. Yeah, so Ustream is a free website that you can use for streaming stuff, but you have to put up with all the ads. That's the only thing. So if you're happy to put up with the ads, then yeah. So Ustream is it Ustream.com? Or Ustream.tv, sorry. There's other software that you can use. Daycast, www.daycast, D-A-C-A-S-T is another one. There's like, if you Google it, live streaming, you'll probably find there's actually quite a few out there. The cool thing about Daycast that I really like is it actually gives you stats around. So it not only gives you the stats of how many people are logging in, but it actually gives you stats of where they're logging in from. So it actually tells you what country they're logging in from. With Showcaster, the one that we use at EIT, it only tells you how many people have logged in to watch you live, and not. Is that the end of my talk? Is it? I've just got one more thing I wanted to show you, and I think it's really important. It's just one video I found on YouTube, and I just wanted to show you that just the opportunities there are in this industry. So yeah, I'll just play this. Hang on. Cool. So I just wanted to show you that, just to show you that actually opportunities with video productions are huge. It's my son taking photos right there.
I've made a few videos that you can on YouTube, you can
Yep.
monetize them. Which means
Yes.
you get paid when people watch them.
Yes.
Have you made any money?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't actually got into the monetization side of things yet. But I know that Ben, he's the other camera guy in the other room, he's actually got right into the whole monetization of video, but he's not a millionaire yet. But I have heard stories of people, you know, making thousands through their video clip being monetized on YouTube.
Wait till you go viral first and then start that.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, I agree.
But I've got another question.
Yeah, sure.
The aspiring filmmakers within the group, because it's easy to apply to give them break into the industry.
The best piece of advice I could ever give you is work hard. Yeah, work hard and have fun. Definitely, absolutely.
Just comment on the back of that from what you said earlier about when you first started out, you're making coffees and things.
Yeah.
For the young people here that might be going into that, I'd say stick with it, because a good mate of mine I used to go to school with, he started out by actually running cables for the camera at the sideline of football games and things. We used to actually go to the games and laugh at him. But he's now Steve Marshall on One Network News, and he gets to interview Sonny Bill Williams and all those guys every day, and he gets to go all over the world. So
Yeah.
he's laughing at us now.
Yeah, definitely. Be prepared to make coffees, guys. That's my advice I'd give to you.
Well, we can give Trudy a round of applause.
Thank you, everyone.